My name is Jamil. I was incarcerated for 32 years. I was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole when I was 17 years old. I grew up on the Lower East Side of Detroit. It's a very poor, violent, crime-ridden area. It's also obviously with a bunch of blight, and it's drug infested. I saw violence throughout the entire family structure. My mother was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon. She ended up imprisoned in the Huron Valley Correctional Facility for women. My uncle was the worst at it. The trauma was so visible on my aunt, and to the degree and extent she ended up losing her life in her 30s. Early 30s. I dropped out in high school in the ninth grade. I was informed that I would have to repeat the ninth grade because I was deemed special education at the time, and I could not properly allow myself to be subjected to degradation from my peers. At the same time, it was told to me by my grandparents that it was going to be very difficult to be able to provide me certain things. So I ended up getting what you call odd jobs in the community, landscaping, paperboy. That attracted the attention of some of the street organization commonly known as gangs, and that got me involved in the underworld. So I ended up selling drugs early on. The culture of the drug world engenders violence. It didn't strike me as abnormal to engage in some form of violence, because that's what we were taught, to protect yourself and to protect your family. I was found guilty, I think it was May 1987. I was found guilty May 1987. I had no clue. The whole entire court system was like some theatrics that I had seen in school. I didn't, for the most part, understand any of the paperwork because I hadn't learned how to read until much later. So it took a while for me to process what was going on. Right? So I had a distorted view of my sentence. See, I was under the impression I had a life sentence, not a life without the possibility of parole. So yeah, it took a long time for me to figure that out. But once I accepted the reality, that it made things a little bit more easier. It was a younger man. He was older than I was, but he was like, although it is essentially a death sentence, anything that has been made can be unmade, right? So the key for you right now is to get on the other side of the law. So the mentor that I'm telling you about, he said, you need to be in school trying to learn how to read and write and get into the law library and figure out how to get out of this situation. And so I took his advice. I had made the decision that I was going to make a strong effort to reparent myself in a way that I thought was nurturing and caring. So I said, I'm going to give me what I didn't get from them. I was going to make time serve me and not me serve time. I was going to transform prison into an educational institution. I was reading materials where it showed a lot of people who obtained their freedom was because they was educated, whether they were slaves who did that or otherwise. So there were a movement that were also taking place that wanted to transform prisons into schools. Perception. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I believe we are a nation of second chances. I don't think most judges who do not live in urban communities can be fair in their dispensation of fair sentences. So I think the best approach to that is to take that kind of sentence off the board Well, I am an uncle, I'm a brother, I'm a mentor, I'm a friend, I'm a companion, I'm an advisor, I'm a servant. I believe my purpose here on this earth is to serve and to make life better for the next generation to come. And I do that with where I'm at now, which is the Pope Francis Center, which is a warming center for the homeless population. I just believe in fundamentally our humanity as human beings is to be the best version of ourselves, undergirded by life-affirming values and principles that bring us all together.